Welcome to the Women in Vinyl podcast with Jen DiEugenio, founder of Women in Vinyl and contributor Robin Raymond. This podcast facilitates conversations with those working in the vinyl record industry to educate, demystify, and diversify the vinyl community.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to this short little blip on the Women in Vinyl podcast.
Beep boop.
Jen and Robin here to wish you a happy new year. We have a bunch of new stuff to come, so we thought we would just do a little intro. Robin and I sort of jumped in feet first on the whole podcast thing, so we wanted to quickly introduce ourselves as well and let you know what we have coming up. So Robin, who are you?
Oh, it's so early in the year for existential questions, Jen. Thank you for that. I'm in a glass case of emotion all of the time. I am a lathe cutter up here in the mighty Canada land. I'm in Toronto. I cut records. I love records. And if you're just listening to this podcast for the first time, I am the comic relief sometimes. I'm the super fangirl of everything that we do. I'm a big fan of Jen, and I subject her
Right back at you
to my rants and my enthusiasm on the daily, and she is the one to rein me back in and keep me on track. So I'm the one that is excited constantly and spicy about everything.
And thanks to you, we've been doing this because you had the idea to do it.
Podcast, because everybody needed more of me in their ears. No. I just felt like there was, a spot that Women in Vinyl could extend our tentacles into to be able to achieve your ultimate goal and our collective mission. But yeah, that's who I am. I guess I could be like, I'm the only lady record cutter in Canada. Woo! Because I am. So that's pretty cool. We do the podcast. I cut records, and that's kind of all I do. So, who are you?
Who am I?
It's like do you remember chat roulette? Because that's what it feels like. Who are you? What's the but like the clean and funny version of chat roulette.
So I found my way into the industry sort of randomly. My background's actually in design. I designed kids' clothes, and then I was actually a career advisor for an art college. I loved that too, but I'd collected records for so long and I wanted to do something with them. I just didn't know what. And hopefully with Women in Vinyl and our job board, that will start to be something that people don't have to wonder anymore. In Furnace actually opened a plant outside of DC. And so we moved home, and I've been the sales and customer experience manager there for the past few years. And it's really cool because I get to combine all the things I love in the job that I have. And I get to work with some really awesome labels, some of which actually we've interviewed. So, and then in 2018, I started Women in Vinyl. There was this meme going around on Instagram that was driving me crazy. I'm pretty sure we've talked about that before, but the way that women were represented in it was bugging me, and I was seeing so many women behind the scenes doing awesome things that I really wanted to create a platform for their voices to be heard. That's where we are today.
So we're two of the people involved in Women in Vinyl. Jen is the head honcho, the tortilla maker, the salsa verde creator, the graphic designer, the bean counter, the paper filer, the form filler outer, and creator of forms.
I do love a form.
You do.
Filling them out and making them.
She's very litigious. She does everything. We wouldn't exist without her. And then we also have the wonderful and talented Amanda McCabe and Jet Galindo that round out the female people on our board. And then we have the lovely and talented Ray
Yeah.
as part of our board as well. Ray is Jen's other half. I won't call him your better half because I'll call him your bearded half. How about that?
That's perfect.
Yeah, Ray is the bearded half. He also edits and kind of semi-produces the show with us. Does some musical type things.
Yeah.
Lays down sweet mixed jams. And is just an overall stellar human. Yeah. So if you're just tuning in for the first time, you've got a sweet bank of episodes to get after, but that's who he is.
And like you mentioned, we were starting out from a point of educating, which we still intend to do, but we've really laid out a baseline of the basics of how records are made, options for what you can do with putting your music out. And this year, we're really going to take off and expand outside of that. So you may really want to go back and check out some of those previous episodes so you know some of the language that we're talking about if you're new to this.
Yeah, it's good to have a foundation, a baseline. And then that way you can steep your buckets a little bit further as we go into 2022. Because boy, howdy, do we have some cool stuff on the old racks coming up. Racks and stacks. It's going to be pretty awesome this year. So, I mean, we ended off on a high note with Billy Fields.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Great. Yeah,
that was great really
guy.
Cool. Oh, I mean, the best mustache in the game
for sure.
And also, the guy does math like nobody's business.
I'm glad someone does.
Yeah. Is this where we tell them who we're going to talk to? Like a little bit? Okay. That's exciting. I guess first, we should say thanks for everybody for listening in 2021 since March, when we did the big old kickoff. Huzzah! We've got like over 5,000 downloads of the podcast, and that is bonkers.
It's huge. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, so thanks so much for that. We also hit another super wicked goal where we hit the official not-for-profit status in the old US of A.
Yay.
So that's a little feather in your cap, Jen. Way to go.
Yeah.
Great job.
Now we can do so many things.
So many things.
Trying to do. So scholarships and all kinds of things to come.
So right now I'm going to say this is where you can be a part of that and you can contribute to scholarships and education by joining Patreon, patreon.com/womeninvinyl, because your dollars are going to good, not just paying for Jen and I to be goofy on the internet. Not at all, actually, where all of those things go right into the Women in Vinyl Foundation for the advancement of everybody being awesome. So that is awesome. So do that.
And we should shout out some of our Patreon people.
So we want to say a huge thank you to Allison Castengay, Samantha Ann Thomas Heaton, Daryl Stinson, sorry, Daryl, Paul Miller, John Seiden, Lavinia Cousin, Danilo, the lovely and talented Amanda Schutzman. If you want to hear more about Amanda, go back to episode 1 and you can listen to her lovely voice. And Alexandria Arnold, my good buddy. I tell her what to play out of her record collection all the time and never disappoints. It's good.
And time. Sam and Thomas own Erie Street Vinyl, so you should definitely check them out. They're awesome. We love them.
Yeah. Cleveland rocks. Love Cleveland.
So, some changes to the podcast.
You might have liked it in its original form, but get ready for its Pokemon evolution. Here we go.
One thing that we're going to start to do is add Amanda facts. And hopefully, I really want there to be some sort of jingle that's like, dun dun, Amanda
Not
facts.
just not just like my mouth jingle either. We'll actually make like a little sound effect.
But she is an archivist. She's one of our amazing board members, like Robin mentioned, a wealth of knowledge. So we want to share some of those facts with you.
Yeah.
So those will be inserted into the episodes.
Yeah. Like the more you know. Boo, 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 boo.
Exactly.
I'll work on it. I'll get there. Maybe I will break out my little MIDI controller and I'll make an actual little sound effect. Really funny. Unicorn sparkles. Also, as usual, if you have music that you would like to put up for consideration to bumper the old podcast, please hit us up at media@womeninvinyl.com for consideration. We take all kinds. We love all of the genres. We tried to stay pretty women specific in year one, and now obviously we'd still like to keep that focus, but if you've got a lady or a non-identifying person in your band, a non-binary bunch of humans, or you got a good message, hit us up. We'd like to give you some airtime.
Yeah, we were lucky. Our friends and various people in the industry let us use their music last year. But
and we hope you all liked it.
Yeah, since people are checking it out, hit us up. The other thing that we're going to be doing is inserting some sponsor shout outs within the episode. And I know you might be rolling your eyes like, oh, I hate ads, but they will be done by us. And with Robin's wonderful comic relief, I'm sure that they will be entertaining.
I do my best.
I think, the thing about our sponsors right now is they're getting shout out at the end of the episode, and there's actually a lot that they're giving you. Mm-hmm. So we want you to be able to enjoy some of those perks. So it won't be intrusive, but it is something that we want you guys to reap the benefits of these awesome sponsors we have.
And also, they're relevant to
totally
us and you in this content. It's not a food sponsor. It's not Pretty Litter. It's not, and I like no shade to Pretty Litter, but we're trying to keep everything very much in line with the goals of the podcast, with the goals of the organization, with our, we're trying to keep it as relevant and realistic as possible. We listen to podcasts too, and we have thoughts about advertisements and sponsorships. And it was a long conversation about how we should do it so that we can be authentic.
Yep.
Because that's important to all of us. And so they're not really ads. They're more so conversations about stuff that we like. It's just like mini conversations being like, oh, hey, did you clean your records this weekend? I sure did. What did you use? Oh, I used Groove Washer.
Absolutely.
Just like that. So, I'll obviously, I'm always going to try and make it hilarious, but yeah, it's also, coming from a place of authenticity and truth, because we don't want to subject you guys to things that we don't use ourselves or that we don't like and or believe in, because
right.
It's not who we are. So yeah. What else we got to talk about?
Well, I think, some people were probably caught off guard that we had Billy as our last guest of the year.
Oh, yeah.
As a man and male identifying human. And I think that is something that we've also sort of gone back and forth and talked about a lot as a Women in Vinyl crew. And because our goal really is to highlight women, LGBTQ plus and marginalized women groups within this industry. But at the same time, we really want to make sure that we're bringing content that is educational and is leading the industry forward. And in some of those cases, to deep dive into those things, we need to talk to men. And so we hope that everybody is understanding of that. You know, as women in vinyl, we are the women in vinyl. So, yeah.
Yeah, we are. And I mean, the people that we're going to talk to are people that are supportive of the message and supportive of what we're doing, and the people in the business that need uplifting and highlighting and spotlighting too. So, you know, they're allies at the end of the day. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, takes a village.
Yeah. And with
Sometimes villages have dudes in them. You can't get away from it.
and with that, would you like to announce who our first official episode is going to be?
Stephen Coates is the producer and author of X-Ray Audio. That's a book that talks about all things X-ray records. So as the itty bitty giddy record collector that I am, I mean, that is like one of the reasons that I got into lathe cutting. And so,
Yeah. I mean, for me, you know, a collector of all things macabre and etc., oddities, and vinyl, it's sort of a perfect combination for me. So I'm super
totally
excited. And historical too. You know, Amanda was super geeked as well that we were going to be talking to him. So
yeah, it's a weird corner of the collector universe. And without turning this into a collector podcast, which we totally easily could do, but it's also about like how they get made and what they're all about and how they contributed to the culture and the history of collecting. So they're a super interesting, not only like cool thing to collect, but to understand the part that they played in, you know, the infiltration of a message and like a political uprising all at the same time. So
yeah.
tune in for that one. It's gonna drop on January 26th
Can't
at the
wait.
wee hours of the morning. Wee.
Ready for your commute if you're going into work.
Yeah, or you know, if you're working at home still, you can put it on big speakies and yeah, dance around in your living room to that. It's going to be very exciting. We've also got a couple of other people that we're going to talk to. We're going to talk to Scott Orr from other record labels, so we can talk about, you know, how to refine your journey as a musician and putting out records. We're going to have a good little conversation with our good buddy Jack Galindo about putting out records as an independent musician, whether lacquer cutting and DMM is right for you, or whether you should stick with somebody like me.
We'll have a whole little series on it. It's going to be great. Yeah, excited about that. And then we want to introduce something that we're not sure if it will be possible, because we really need to hear from you for it to be possible.
And we love hearing from you.
We do.
We do.
But we thought, after listening to another podcast called Reply All, it was just one episode, but it sparked this idea to do vinyl mysteries. So if there is a cut or a record or a variant, whatever, something in the dead wax, and you can't figure out what it is, you don't know anything about it, can't find it on Discogs, shoot us an email, media@womeninvinyl.com. We'll do some digging, we'll do some research, and we will solve your vinyl mystery, hopefully.
Find that out for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We almost had one with that contact request for the woman that makes the turntables.
Yeah. That was really
pretty
cool. That
Yeah.
was really cool. Yeah, I loved that. And we
So,
learned a thing. We learned a thing, and we got to know a new thing, and that was cool. So yeah, if there is anything about your record collection that you, even if you just don't have time to look it up, to play Sherlock Holmes about, or you want to share it, hit us up, because we're happy to do it at no charge, might I add. Yeah, this isn't a pay service. We like figuring that stuff out just for funsies. We do it with our own collections. Let us do it with yours. Pew pew. So yeah, I think that is a good layout for 2022.
Yeah. Any ideas? Like we said, hit us up.
We want to say thanks to our new sponsor, which is New Gen Audio, for all of you producer, mastering, mixing artist types out there. New Gen has an incredible array of products to help you make your music sound its best. Check them out. Our continued sponsors are other record labels, Keppel, Selector, and Eargasm. You can go back and hear all of the amazing things on our Stuff You Like podcast episode from December. So yeah, we love all those guys. We love a bunch of other ones too. And
Yeah. Huge thank you all to being part of what we're doing. We couldn't do it without you.
yeah. And as always, check out womeninvinyl.com for all of our past episodes, the store, the job board, and the growing library of resources. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Maybe give us a review on your favorite podcast delivery method. You can now review us on Spotify. You can also contribute to furthering our mission at patreon.com/womeninvinyl. So yeah, hit up womeninvinyl.com. You'll find all of the B-sides, deep cuts, and amazing extras. And go to patreon.com/womeninvinyl and help us continue to refine the not-for-profit to further the demystification, education, and infiltration of more women and non-binary identifying humans into vinyl making spaces. Diversity is our biggest positive over here in making vinyl. So help us continue that. Awesome.
This episode has been brought to you by Women in Vinyl and Red Spade Records. Thank you for listening. Please remember to subscribe, and you can always contact us directly by visiting www.womeninvinyl.com.